Whew. Well, there we go guys, we've made it back from Red Sentinets. Had an absolute blast out there. Good old Bucky Yundle, the 79 Toyota Cressida. Well, I won't say it didn't go without a hitch, but had a whole lot of fun. So, time to park this old girl up and start on the next project. Now, I asked you guys last time, what should we work on? Crap. You guys suck. G'day everyone, my name's DJ and welcome to another episode of Automotive Carnage. Today we are going to introduce you all to the next major project on this channel. As I said just previously, Bucky Yundle is now done. We might revisit later and rebuild some of the suspension that it so desperately needs to be able to actually handle going around a simple corner. But for now, what we're going to focus on is this, our 1969 VF Valiant Pacer. Now, if you don't know too much about this vehicle, last episode I put out to you guys and went through all of my vehicles and said which one would you like to see us work on next now that Bucky Yundle is finished. And well, unanimously, so many comments all said get stuck into the Pacer. Now, for anyone who's curious, the next one behind that was the F250 ambulance. So that's only a small build, we might get into that later on. But for now, we want to focus on this absolutely beautiful piece of Australian history. This particular Valiant Pacer is number 950 of about 4,500 that were made in the VF generation, making this one of the earlier 1969 models. Now, what are the plans of this car? Ideally, I would love to get it back up to a nice streetable condition where we can just drive it reliably to car shows and show it off, because it is just an awesome part of Australian motoring history. What this car meant for Chrysler and for the youth of the 1960s was really, really awesome. What's really cool about this one is it still has its matching numbers 225 slant 6 in it, still has its 3-speed manual, the floor shifter mechanism is gone but the hump is still in the tunnel, and it still has quite a few of the Pacer specific parts that this generation came with. Now, what are we going to do today? Today, we'll lift up the forklift, get it out of the dirt, because since we rescued it from the creek bed where we found it, we put it here and it hasn't moved, poor thing. We've been so busy with other vehicles. So now it's time to shine. We'll get it onto the concrete pad, we'll stack it up on some pallets where it's nice and safe up in the air, and let's just start sweeping out all the dirt and give it a good water blast and see what we actually have to work with. Well, there we are team, you asked for it and here it is, the Creek Bed Pacer. That's got a bit of a ring to it. I think we'll keep that title, Creek Bed Pacer, I love it. So, first off, apologies for the shadows, it's just that time of day and the sun when we get around the other side. So anyway, let's now dive into this wonderful Pacer and have a look and see what we're actually starting with, and is it even worth restoring? I mean, you gotta remember guys, this was found literally in the creek bed and you can see how deep it was in the soil on the brake rotors here. That line there is how far we had to dig down to drag this thing literally out of. So much fun. So, first appearances, it does need a bloody good clean. It's been sitting out there for gosh knows how long, and hopefully when we get on the inside and start cleaning out, we'll find some little trinkets and some dainted coins to give us an idea of when it was last driven. So let's start around the back here, and that boot is absolutely stoved in. I'm not sure it's going to be repairable, but we'll give it a crack sometime in the future, or else we might just go and get ourselves another boot. The bottom valance, that's all been flipped out, inverted, whatever you want to call it, from where we dragged it up onto the trailer. Unfortunately, that was one of the casualties. These rear light pods, they're in pretty bad nick, but you can still get those off other wrecks. They're not too specific. This one's not too bad, but it's a bit dinged up, probably worth just replacing anyway. Moving around, and we've got some rust in the lower quarter here, but I'm not necessarily hearing any bog in there. Now, oh, hang on a minute. What's that? Sweet, free pair of pliers. What's came out of there? Anything else in there? A whole bunch of dirt. We might go digging in there later. We might find some other tools in there. Right, coming around, the rear quarter itself isn't too bad. We still have our Pacer specific trim on the C-pillars, and I've already played around a little bit and managed to get 3 of the 4 doors open. A little bit tricky, but the door itself is in absolutely fantastic condition on this side. Look at that, absolutely beautiful, no rust down in that bottom there of the door. Now, you might have realized, geez man, you're a bit rough on that forklift moving us around. Why have you damaged the floor? Well, you've got to have a floor to be able to damage it. Yes, hello, there is my foot. Subsequent damage from being sitting in the creek for X amount of years yet to be determined. That is what's going to happen, unfortunately. You get a few floods through there and goodbye to the floor. Now, we've got one coin here. What have we got? 1970, 10-cent piece. All right, I doubt it's going to be that old left in the bush. That coin's about as old as the car, actually. That is pretty cool. The roof, yep, the roof is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. The inside of the C-pillars are in good condition. Look at these tubs. As far as I can work out going around this car, it is all virgin steel. I haven't found any bog yet. Absolutely fantastic. All right, let's move on. Oh, that door doesn't like to close too much. All right, passenger side door. Passenger side door, well, that's a bit more how you're going. We've got a big stove in there, which is going to take a lot of massaging to get that out. The corner itself has been bent up, but again, no rust, absolutely beautiful. Right, coming in here, we've got again more rust coming through that floor. We'll dig all this out soon and we'll see what the rest of the floor looks like. But what I'm noticing here, right, so you've got the seal line up here on the firewall, and you've got the other, get the cobweb out of my face, you got the other line just past where the rear seats go. Going that way, haven't found any rust yet. Going up that way into the firewall, haven't found any rust yet. So, fingers crossed, we can just unstitch this panel here, take this rusty floor out, and find another one to stitch back in. If we can, that would be absolutely amazing. Now, another common area for these Valiants to rust out is up here on the inner plenums. And as you can see, that is carpet and again, virgin steel. I can't see too much rust. We'll have to get a torch in there later, but that's looking good upon first inspection. Now here we go, here's some of the Pacer specific emblems and trim that's still on there and looking fantastic. Still opens. We should probably unbolt that in case someone decides to help themselves to it. Right, move along, front guard, there we go. Pacer 225 with the Chrysler emblem still there. Fantastic. That guard itself is good down in there. Look, nothing there. That's incredible. No rust at all. Considering this was sitting in the dirt, even the sill, absolutely fantastic. Oh, until you get to there, and that is one hang of a hit in there. So, no, maybe I've talked to a panel beater. We can push that out, chop it out, but it's not rusty, so that shouldn't be too hard to work with. Oh, we've got a bit of a bubble there. Oh, is that paint, bog, or is it rust? It's definitely not rust. What is that? It's definitely, might be a bit of bog. There might be bog in here somewhere. Okay, moving on. Disc brake front end. Funny enough, on the Pacers, the disc brake front end was an option, but a lot of dealers refused to sell these cars without them because they were perceived to be that fast. You needed the upgraded brakes. All right, so let's just have a quick dive in here in the wheel. Again, absolutely beautiful, flawless. A couple of dents up in here, but all fantastically straight, clean metal. All right, come around the front, and what is arguably the worst damage to this car. This whole radiator support panel is all bent, buckled. The chrome bumper is twisted beyond repair. But one good thing, we still have original number plates. How awesome is that? All right, front valance, again, absolutely twisted. I would dare say that a tree has gone whack right into there and introduced itself to that front bumper. Now, let's jump up here and check out the engine. Now, these were the most powerful slant 225 you could get in Australia, rated at 175 horsepower. That was achieved by shaving a bit off the head, bumping compression up, and putting a hotter cam in than the 160 horsepower motors, also twin barrel carb, and also a modified exhaust system. Now, also to my understanding, These were the most powerful factory 225s you could get anywhere in the world. Even the Yanks couldn't get them to 175 horsepower in factory form. Obviously they got much faster once they started modifying them, but from the factory, this was the most powerful slant 6 you could get. We've still got, this engine is so complete, it's fantastic. We're obviously going to need a new Dizzy, new plugs. It's not, under no illusions, this has been sitting without a bonnet for God knows how many years. It's going to need a rebuild, so we'll pull that out, we'll pull it, strip it down in another episode and just see how bad it is. At the moment, well, I've got nothing to be able to rotate it, but I dare say it won't be rotating anyway. These inner guards are absolutely fantastic. Beautiful sunburn patina on that side. Oh, we've got a bit of hackery going on there. Wonder what that was. Not too sure what they've gone and put through there. We might find some evidence later on. We come over this side, we check the VIN. We've got VF7, meaning it's got the 225 with a 3-speed manual. S was the designation for special, which in this case was the Pacer 41 sedan body and number 950 off the production line. And B41 was the option code for the front disc brakes. So all of that matches up with everything else in this car. Moving on to this fender, we've got a punched in nose. The beautiful top mounted indicators are all broken, so they're going to need to be replaced as well. But come along here and it is absolutely fantastic. We've got a bit of bending going on around there. On the inner tub, again, beautiful virgin steel all the way around. Now, when we found this, it did have the front hub brake assembly, everything here. But unfortunately, I needed to take it off to go onto my Dodge 106C hiding over there behind the Forester, because we've done a front disc brake conversion to that car and I was one spindle short. So at this point, I'm going to ask for your guys' help. You lot wanted to see the Pacer to be restored next. I'm going to need your help to locate another disc brake spindle. I've got the hub, I've got just about everything else, but I need the actual spindle itself, and the disc brake ones are different to the drum brakes. I've got plenty of drum brake spindles, but yeah, if you guys have one or you know of one for sale, please let me know. automotivecarnage@gmail.com. Hit us up and I'll be happy to buy one off you, because we're going to need just one more for the driver's side, obviously. Moving on, and this door is see you later. I'm not sure if this is because of a twisted chassis that this has happened, or if this has been pushed back because of the accident that's happened up here, but this door, yep, no bueno. It don't want to work too well. Still opens though enough for us to get in there, and we have one of the other Pacer specific parts, the tombstone seats. Also the white face dash cluster, that's still in there as well. And if we get our camera in there, we've got plenty of rubbish to go through and try find some more clues as to how long this car's been here. Now this door, unfortunately I can't open it. This is one, for some reason it's still jammed closed, so we can't get in there, but you've already seen inside from the passenger side. Now sill, what's the sill like on this side? Now we've got a bit of rust up there, yep, coming along. We got another big dent around here. Come on, oh, there's some more rust in there. So this side's definitely seen less better days. That actually sounds pretty hollow all the way through, so definitely have to hit that with the hammer. Let's get right underneath this thing now, right? So where the torsion bars bolts in, they are all in fantastic condition as well. There's a 3-speed manual. Come over to this torsion bar. Yep, again, it's all looking really, really good under here. Obviously, except for the Flintstone rear passengers arrangement. Handbrake cabling, that's all there. Still got a diff. Fantastic. This is actually really, really good. This is way better than I anticipated it to be. Now, also, another common issue with Valiants. Because the steering box is here, it puts a lot of tension and stress on the chassis, and sure enough, just like a lot of others, it's cracked right through there in the chassis rail. So that, because we want to get this street driven, we might get a professional to weld that up correctly, because I don't trust my welding skills enough to do that. Right, where were we? Coming back this way. Right, we're going to get up inside this rear arch here, and again, it's just clean. Look at this chassis rail all the way along. Absolutely fantastic. The leaf spring mounts, fantastic. Okay, that's not fantastic. Okay, that's going to need some attention on that side. Still got a fuel tank. It's a bit banged up, but that's okay. We can work with it. Up into there where the shock absorbers mount, again, clean as for a car that was quite literally sitting at the bottom of a creek. And as we saw on the inside, plenty more rust there. Okay, what else we got? I saw something fall out. Glass. I thought I saw a lighter. No? Okay. Keep going. There's like a secret little compartment going on here. Okay. Handles to some jumper leads. It's probably the most interesting thing to fall out of there. Otherwise, just a lot of dirt and sticks that's been collected from all the various floods. Okay, and that brings us back around to the rear end. So, what do you reckon, team? Are we in with a shot to restore this beautiful old girl, or should we just drag it back out to the creek where we found it and leave it to rot? I don't know. Let us know in the comments below what you reckon. Now, I am by no means under any illusions. I know that this is going to be a very big job, and by far one of the largest jobs we have undertaken on this channel, which is great for the big project that we have, because every big project I take on, I try and make it that one step harder than what I've done previously. So when we started this channel, we had Starlin, our VP Commodore. First time I'd done engine swap, first time I'd done manual conversion. Then we moved on to the Sylvia, my S13. When we got that, it was a bag of parts and pieces, it was a pile of crap, and we managed to slap it all back together, and now it's running and driving and almost ready to be registered. Then we took an absolutely massive leap, put off more than I could chew with Bucky Yundle, building the bush car from the bush, and that taught me so much and really showed my limitations. But man, what a car we came out with at the other end. So now the next big project to me is kind of logical. Let's do my first full major restoration where we have to rebuild the whole lot using factory parts, not push parts. So bear with me, this may take the better part of 2 years to get completed, because we have to redo the engine, the brakes, the suspension, the interior, the bodywork, the windows. Everything has to be rebuilt on this car. And I know from experience with the Dodge 106C that just doing the suspension, brakes, and getting it into a rolling chassis state, it's going to cost $3,000 to $4,000 by itself, which is a lot. So this is going to be one hang of a money pit, but boy, is she going to be good when she's done. So with that, thank you very much for tuning into this episode of Automotive Carnage. Join us next time where we go out looking for a new floor, new radio support, and new bumper, because believe it or not, this ain't the first Pacer that we've found in the bush. Catch you then.